Now we are going to consider the precedence of operators. There are the several operators like arithmetic operators, assignment operators, and relational operators, conditional operators, and logical operators. So we have a priority list out of the several operators. Which operators will be solved first and which will solve later on. Suppose I have a very simple statement. That simple statement is x is equal to 5 plus 7. Now in this statement, I have two operators. One operator is plus and the another operator is equal to. So which will be solved first, either plus or equal to. So according to the precedence, the plus will be solved first and then the value will be assigned. The then value of 5 plus 7 will be assigned to the x. The precedence of plus is high and the precedence of assignment is later. Otherwise, what will be the result? Otherwise, this will becomes an error. If equal to sign will be solved first and plus will be solved later on, so there is an error. 5 will be assigned to the x, then plus 7 will becomes an error. So the precedence of plus is high, then these two numbers will be added and then the answer of these two will be stored in the variable x. So there is an example of two operators. Now if we have one more operator that I described previously in an example, and that example was what this was the example, and that is the example of conditional operator. So in conditional operator, you can see I have three elements of this conditional operator. One element is before the question mark. Before the question mark, what should I have? It has a condition. And after the question mark, I have two elements. The first element is element number 1, element number 2. Element number 2. Out of these three elements, the precedence of condition is high. The condition will be solved first. If the condition is true, then the action number 1 will be taken and action number 2 will be discarded and will not be considered. And if the condition is false, then condition number 2 will, then expression number 2 will be acted and the action 1 will be discarded. So we have a precedence of three elements here. The first precedence is this. Depending on this, we have to decide whether action number 1 or action number 2 is to be considered. So operator precedence is one of the very important thing, and all of you should have to understand what is the precedence of which operator. Suppose I have an example here, a into b divided by c. So this is called associativity. Precedence and associativity are the two things. Associativity means in which order these operators will be solved, in which sequence. That is the associativity. So associativity will be the left to right. So if two operators have same precedence, then you have to solve them from left to right. This is called associativity. So into and divide, these two have same precedence, because according to the DMAS rule, what the DMAS says division and multiplication has same precedence, addition and subtraction has less precedence. So in DMAS, D and M has the same precedence. So which will be solved first, whether division or multiplication? So it's associativity. If I am writing A into B, then C by the slash sign, then multiplication will be done first, then answer will be divided by C. But if I am writing A divided by C, then multiply by B or C, so the division will be taken first and then the multiplication will be taken. So division and the associativity will act If two or more operators has same precedence, then the rule of associativity will be used. So associativity will tell us you have to resolve the operators from left to right rule. Now, this is a very important element table, and this table contains the precedence and the associativity of the different kinds of operator in C++. So the brackets have a very high precedence, highest precedence. So at the top level we have bracket, and this operator plus plus postfix minus minus postfix. So these operator has the highest precedence, and the precedence will be left to right. So all over there the precedence is left to right, except only the two things. One is this, right to left. And here we have right to left. Otherwise, all over there we have left to right associativity. Now, plus, minus, double minus, not, and, star, tilde. This is used for power, not for, this is used for not, size of, and type. So these are the different operators, and all of these are the unary operators. We have to write down with the single operands, but the associativity is left, right to left. Right to left means what? The elements on the right will be solved first, then the element on the left. If we have a static slash percent, these three are the same precedence. These three has the same precedence. These are the multiplicative operators. Their associativity is left to right. If percentage, this is not the percentage, this is the modulus or the integer division. Integer division will be taken first, and plus minus will be done later. Similarly, you have the precedence. Whenever I am moving from top to bottom in this table, so row number one, the operator in the row number one will be solved first, then the operator in the row number two will be solved first. So we have the precedence from top to bottom here. And in some operators, we have a associativity of left to right, but except only the three elements, I have associativity of right to left. Now, this is the complete program structure. I resolved and discussed this structure last time in this presentation. But today I am going to explain it again. In line number one, we have a comment line. By double slash, a comment line is started. And this is a single line comment. Then hash include is what? This is called preprocessor directive. So this is program will start from here. The actual program is this. This is the actual program, and this actual program will be will have some of the statement which are written before that. These statements are called preprocessor directives, and preprocessor directives are defined by a simple hash. The line number one is a comment line. So I'm going to describe them one by one in a very clear way. This is called comment. The second line is what? Second line is called preprocessor directive. What this does, this associate input stream and output stream. IO stand for the input output stream with this program. If I am not using this line, I cannot use cout, because cout is related to the input output stream. So that is why input output stream must be included before using the cout into your program. So you can eliminate the two lines from this program. If you eliminate the cout, then you can eliminate the IO stream. But generally IO stream is necessary because most of the program contains the cout and cin statement. So you should have to incorporate and include preprocessor directive in them. Now the next line is the using namespace STD. STD stand for the standard input output. Standard input output are what? Standard output is screen and standard input is keyboard. Now this line is called namespace. So which namespace is needed? So if you want to show the output onto the printer, so you can use a PRN instead of STD. The next line is the beginning of my program. Your program should be begin in this way. Integer is the returning data type. Main is the reserved word, and this is the main function. And we have a close bracket, empty brackets here. And then it will be followed by a complete block. This is called program block. This is a starting block. This is the ending block. Now, a block must be started by the left brace and it should be closed by a ending brace. The ending brace is important, end of block. And this is the output statement, cout. By this command, entire output will be shown. Hello there will be shown on the screen. There is only one line. If I execute this program, then only one line will be executed. And that line will do what? This line will generate the output onto the screen and the program will vanish and return zero. Because I use integer here, then zero will be returned. So this is the sending operand to the operating system. This is called a string. I explained the string right now. Here a string is started and the string ended here. And this is the final program, and that's all for this presentation. Thank you very much.